man up on my own height with a mustache, and he has a war with a white overall. He was my only chance. I went into the smoking room and had a breakfast of a glass of whiskey and soda and some biscuits. It was now nearly 6 o'clock. I put a pipe in my pocket and filled my pouch from the tobacco jar on the table. But as I put my fingers into the tobacco, I touched it, something hard, and drew out Shudder's little black notebook. Then I went into the hall to wait for the milkman. That was the first part of it, for I was very anxious to get out of the door. 60:30 passed, then 60:40, but still he did not come. The fool had chosen this day to all of his days to be late. At 14 minutes to 7, I heard him outside. I opened the front door. "Come in here a moment," I said. "I want a word with you." And I led him into the dining room. "I think you are a sportsman," I said. "I want you to do me a service. Leave me your cap and overall for the 10 minutes, and here is a sovereign for you." "All right," he said. "Here you are, sir." I put on his flat blue hat and his white overall, picked up his bottles, shut my door, and went whistling downstairs. The portress told me that to stop making such of noise, which sounded as I looked at it like a milkman. At first I thought there was nobody in the street. Then I caught sight of a policeman and a man walking on the other side. I raised my eyes to the house opposite, and there at the window was a face. As the man passed, he looked up and I thought I saw a signal exchange between them. I crossed the street, then took the first side street. There was no one in the little street, so I dropped the bottles behind a gate and sent a hat and overall after them. I had only just put on my own cap when a postman came around the corner. I gave him good morning, and he answered me. At the moment the clock of the church struck on hour 7, there was not a second to spare. I took my heels and ran. At the station I had no time to take a ticket. A porter told me to platform, and as I entered I saw the train already in motion. Two porters blocked the way, but I managed to pass them and got into the last carriage. The adventure of the innkeeper. It was a May whicher. I asked myself why, when I was still a free man, I had sailed to London and not gone into the wonderful country. I dared not to call the restaurant car, but I caught the packet lunch at Leeds. Also, I caught the morning's paper, but there was very little in them that was of any interest to me. When I had done with them, I cut out Scudder's little black notebook and studied it. It was full of figures and names, and I was sure there was a shipper in it. That is something which was always interesting me, and I have a head for such things. This one looked like the kind of where figures stand for the letters of the alphabet, but anybody called fond of gay. Such a cheaper after an hour to work, and did not think a Scudder's fault to have people listen with anything so easy. I tried for an hour but could not do it. Then I fell asleep and woke at Dumfries, where I got out. I needed the Galloway train. There was a man on the platform whose looks I did not like, but he never looked at me. When I saw myself in a mirror, I did not wonder. I looked at the very model of the hill farmer train was full of. I travelled with the 5,000 of them. They talked of sheep and lambs and prices and took no notice of me. About 5 o'clock they had all cut out, and I was alone as I had hoped. I got out the next station. An old station master was digging into his carter, and with his spade over his shoulder went up to the train. Took jerks of some good and